So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology. iPad Pro 10.5 versus iPad 2018 speed test. Let's go ahead and begin this test with a boot up. We did a full comparison between these two just a few days ago. If you want to go ahead and see that, link is down below in the description area of this video. 3, 2, 1, and let's see which one can actually get to the home screen first. Now, remember, we have an A10 Fusion chip on the right and an A10X Fusion chip on the left. This guy does have the advantage where it does have 4 gigs of RAM on the Pro series on the left, and over here on the right, we have 2 gigs of RAM. So that might make a difference in performance, but you can see there goes the Pro by just a second or so and a half over the 2018, but not by too much. Okay, so let's talk about the Fingerprint Scanner. Now, one has first gen Touch ID on the right, and on the left, we have second gen Touch ID. But does this make a difference in speed? Let's find out in 3, 2, 1. And you could see not too much of a difference. Let's go ahead and do that again. 3, 2, 1. And you could see barely any difference. So they both have Touch ID, but one is a little bit faster, and that is the Pro series device. So just slightly faster, not a big deal in your everyday usage. Okay guys, so we have arrived at the application portion of this speed test. You can see everything is closed out on both devices. Both are connected to the same Wi-Fi network. Let's go into calendar, and you can see that one looked pretty even Steven there, if you ask me. Let's go into clock, and you could see about the same. Once again, I'm not seeing huge gains here on the Pro. Let's go into App Store, and you could see that's the left slightly to the Pro. Let's go into the GarageBand, and you could see GarageBand opens again slightly on the left for the Pro, but this is only very minimal. Let's go into YouTube and see which one can open this third-party app first now. And you can see that is the left. So here comes the iPad Pro with 1 win. But I mean, if you see it so far, this is pretty slight. Let's go into Amazon. And you can see Amazon does open first. Wow, that was close. Let's go into eBay. And you can see eBay is opened. Wow, I think that was exactly at the same time. Maybe you probably have to slow this video down just to see if there's any differences, and they're so minute. Let's go into the B&H Photo. And you can see B&H Photo does open first on the right, I think it was, on the right iPad. So that's going to be the 2018 edition. Coming home, let's go into Word. Now we're going to look for the pop-up for the sign-in first, and that's the left. So Word is first on the left. Let's go into Google Docs. And you can see Google Docs opens first on, I think it was the left. Let's go into the Netflix. And you can see Netflix for the win on the left, and then comes the right. So there seems like there's slight wins to the iPad Pro, but not anything huge. So you can see right there on the left, there goes the iPad Pro. Scrolling through, about the same, no issues. You will feel a little bit of a smoother scroll here on the left, but in terms of speed, about the same. Let's go into Dead Trigger. Let's see if the Pro can pull ahead with its better graphics over the iPad 2018. 3, 2, 1, and let's see which one can get there first. So the iPad Pro does win. Let's go ahead and play this game and see which one can load it up first. It looks like the Pro's ahead again. So yes, slightly ahead there to the Pro, but I mean, this is a very slight difference, but this might make a difference in the long term. So like when you have these tablets over the long-term updates, the Pro might last a little bit longer just because of those slight differences. Let's go into Jetpack Joyride, and you can see Jetpack Joyride is ahead by a lot on the Pro. Boom, there goes the Pro. And we're waiting on 2018. So that was a pretty clear win for the iPad Pro. Let's go into Candy Crush and see which one can open up America's favorite game, it seems like. And over there on the left is the iPad Pro 10.5. Let's hit play. And you've seen there was no discernible differences there. Just really a slight bump to the Pro. It's just so slight though. Let's go into Geekbench. And you can see Geekbench is on the left. And here comes the 2018. So that was a clear win for the iPad Pro on the left. Let's go on Adobe Clip. And you can see Adobe Clip does open first. Wow, that was so similar, but I think I'm going to call it to the Pro. Coming home, let's go into iMovie. And you can see iMovie about the same on both right there, and Speed Test. And let's see which one does open this up first. That was about the same, pretty close there on Speed Test. Let's run backwards through them now on some multitasking. Speed Test. You can see we're looking for reloads here. iMovie, no reloads there. Adobe Clip, no reloads there. Geekbench, no reloads there. Candy Crush, No reloads there. What about Jetpack Joyride? You can see no reloads there. Dead Trigger. Looks like the iPad Pro was ahead. What about OfferUp? Coming Home. Let's go into Netflix. About the same. Docs. About the same on both. Word. About the same again. B&H. Ooh, this is a close one. Looks like that was the left to the Pro. eBay. About the same on both. What about Amazon? Looks like the Pro was slightly ahead. Let's go to YouTube. And that was about the same. GarageBand. About the same. App Store. Reload here for the iPad 2018. So that's a win for the Pro with its 4 gigs of RAM. Clock. About the same. And calendar. I'm going to say that's the Pro. So you can see that the Pro, having its 4 gigs of RAM and better performance and the 120 Hz display, it does have a slight more pep in its step than the iPad 2018, or a little bit more speed if you don't know what I mean by pep in a step. But it's definitely a little bit faster. But is it $400 or $500 faster? That's very arguable, because you can see how close these really were in just your everyday applications. And we threw in some productivity apps. We had some streaming apps. Dead Trigger's a more graphically intensive game here. And you've seen that the Pro came slightly ahead. So overall, it's a slight bump in speed and everyday usage on the Pro 2017 versus the iPad 2018. Okay guys, so I have 2 videos loaded up here. We're gonna see which one can actually render video first. So we're gonna save both of these to the camera roll at the same time in 3, 2, 1, and see which one can actually finish ripping through this video. So the Pro, with its better power, should absolutely finish this video rendering test first. It's only a 1-minute clip, but the A10 Fusion shouldn't be too far behind. So can the Pro take down the A10 with its A10X? And it does. There it goes. Video saved. We're done and ready to watch. We're waiting on the 2018. We're still waiting. So you can see this is where the Pro will take the lead when you get into heavier stuff like video rendering. Now that was only a 1-minute clip. Over the span of like 5 to 10-minute clips, that's going to be even more of a difference. So let's go into iMovie, and we're going to run a render here on this one as well. Same project, and I'm going to go ahead and save on both devices. We're going to save video here and see which one can finish this test first. So let's save video. We're going to go in HD 1080. So 1080p, and we're going to export this movie, and we're going to see if the Pro can take down the iPad 2018 and iMovie as well, an optimized application by Apple. And it looks like it is slightly ahead, but the iPad 2018 seems to be hanging closer in this test than Adobe Clip. So there it goes. It's done on the Pro, and there is the iPad 2018. So both of these are very powerful mobile editing machines. Don't get me wrong, 2018 can do some good work, but at the same time, if you're gonna be doing longer videos, the rendering times are gonna be probably cut in half on the iPad Pro versus the iPad 2018. All right, so let's quickly run a speed test. I'm gonna run it first here for the left on the iPad Pro 10.5 and see how it pulls in Wi-Fi speeds, and then we'll go over to the iPad 2018 to see if maybe it has a lesser amount of Wi-Fi it can pull in. So 119.35 around there on the Pro 10.5. We're getting about 10 on the upload. But the 2018 may not give you the same amount of Wi-Fi performance, but at the same time, they both do support cellular. So if you do want to pick one up when it comes to just its pure cellular data, you can get both in that. So let's go over here on the right, and let's see if the iPad can hang. And this would be nice if it does give you the same exact Wi-Fi speeds. And it looks like it is going to give me just a little bit less, but very slightly. That seems to be the story throughout this video. It's just slightly, like very slight. But that slightly can make a difference, like I said before, in the long term. So when you get updates over time, this is going to be the iPad that's not going to run as smoothly in the long haul. But again, Apple iPads seem to run forever though. Unlike the iPhones, it gets slowed down sometimes. These things seem to run forever. So the iPad 2018 actually gets a better upload and only a slightly different download. So I'm calling this test just slightly better on the Pro, just very slight. All right, so the final scores are in. We have a 3939 on the single core for the Apple iPad Pro 10.5, 9331 on the multi-core, and a 3526 on the single, and a 5967 on the multi. So you can see that there's a big gap when it comes to the multi-core score, but when it comes to just their everyday single core usage, which basically what we were doing in this test when we were just testing some of the basic apps on the tablets. Okay guys, so which one can actually connect to the Apple Pencil first? So let's go ahead and put the Apple Pencil here in the iPad Pro and put it in the Lightning port, and it should connect right now. So let's see which one can pair first. So we're waiting for a pair logo, and there we go, pair. So now the Apple Pencil is paired. Let me go ahead and unpair it from the iPad 10.5, and then we will connect it here to the iPad 2018. So let's go ahead and plug it in here to the Apple iPad 2018 in 3, 2, 1. And let's see how fast this can pair. So 3, 2, 1, we're still waiting a little bit. And there it goes. So not too much of a difference in terms of the pairing time between both of these when it comes to the Apple Pencil. Okay guys, so that wraps it up. The iPad 10.5 Pro versus the 2018 iPad speed test. What my final results are and conclusion is that you're getting a slight bump in performance from the iPad 2018 to the Pro. It's a more powerful tablet that's gonna really show its stuff if you're actually gonna use it up to its potential of power. If you find yourself using light-based apps or just day-to-day apps, it's not a huge difference, but the huge difference is the 120 hertz display. That's where you're really gonna see a difference. So I would say if you're getting an iPad 2018, you're getting close to the same performance as an iPad Pro, but not quite, but very close. So it's still a great value. If you guys found this video helpful, enjoyable, entertaining, informing in any sort, do me a favor, click that like button for me. If you're new here, consider subscribing for more. Don't forget to have notifications turned on. Giveaway coming out of 200,000 subscribers. I will catch you all in the next one. Nick here, helping you to master your technology. Be sure to be well, and peace.